Most Muslims believe and teach that Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet of God. And because of this, many are taught that they must follow the hadiths and the sunnah, the recorded sayings and practices of the prophet. I also believe that Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet God would send, but not because of the hadiths or the sunnah. I believe the Holy Quran itself is enough. The Quran can guide anyone who believes in God and seeks to obey Him without relying on secondary texts written by men. It provides the same wisdom, the same understanding, and the same mission that was given to the prophets, to represent righteousness and to deliver God's clear message to humanity. This is the true power of the Quran. It equips every sincere believer with moral strength, clarity, and purpose, just as it did for the prophets. And this understanding is critical because what we call the culture war is not just political, it is spiritual. It is a conflict born from division, misunderstanding, and the loss of a shared foundation. The Quran offers something different. It offers clarity, it offers universality, it offers unity. God did not create us to think identically. He gave us minds for a reason. I do not believe that God expects every believer to examine every detail of what Prophet Muhammad said or did before making decisions in their own lives. Yes, the Prophet's life is an example, but the Quran is the standard. God's intention is not blind imitation, but the development of moral intelligence, the ability to think, to judge, to discern right from wrong. The Quran repeatedly calls on believers to reflect, to reason, and to use their intellect. This is not a religion of passive following. It is a call to awareness, a call to responsibility, a call to truth. And when believers abandon this, when they rely only on inherited traditions without reflection, they risk creating the very divisions the Quran warns against. This is where the solution begins, not in labels, not in sects, not in traditions built by men, but in a shared commitment to truth, justice, and righteousness. When believers return to the Quran as their foundation, unity becomes possible. Now, this brings us to an important command from the Quran. Make no distinctions between the prophets. Many Muslims today believe that Prophet Muhammad must be seen as the greatest of all prophets because he was the last. But the Quran does not support this idea. Instead, God repeatedly instructs believers, do not make distinctions between his messengers. This teaching is powerful because it directly addresses the root of division. Just as people divide themselves by sects and ideologies, they also divide themselves by elevating certain figures above others. But the Quran removes that hierarchy. All prophets carry the same message. All serve the same purpose. All called humanity to the same truth. So we must ask, should Adam be elevated because he was the first? Should Abraham be greater because he was the father of nations? Should Moses be above others because God spoke to him directly? Should Jesus be elevated because of his miraculous birth? And should Muhammad be considered the greatest simply because he was the last? Or are they all part of one brotherhood, one mission, one message, one truth? During Prophet Muhammad's life, it was necessary to make clear that he was a messenger, not divine. This corrected the elevation of Jesus to divinity. It preserved pure monotheism. But after his death, continuing to elevate him above all others risks creating the same kind of imbalance the Quran warns against. This is not just a religious issue. It reflects the same pattern we see in society today. Division happens when we elevate one group, one ideology, or one perspective above all others. The Quran offers a different model, unity through truth, not hierarchy. The real question is simple. Will we follow inherited traditions, or will we seek the truth directly from God? The Quran does not ask us to follow blindly. It calls us to reflect, to question, to seek sincerely, and through that process, we find something greater than division. We find clarity, we find purpose, we find unity. The message of the Quran is not passive, It is alive. It is a call to rise above division, to reject false distinctions, and to return to what is true, submission to God, and the pursuit of righteousness. Because in the end, truth does not divide, it unites. Here are a few verses from the Quran that bear witness to what I am saying, reaffirming the equality of the prophets and the importance of understanding God's message for oneself. Quran 4:152. To those who believe in God and His messengers and make no distinction between any of the messengers, we shall soon give their due rewards, for God is oft forgiving, most merciful. Quran 2:285. The messenger Muhammad believed in what hath been revealed to him from his Lord, as do the men of faith. Each of them believes in God, His angels, His books, and His messengers. We make no distinction, they say, between one and another of His messengers. And they say, we hear and we obey. We seek your forgiveness, our Lord, and to you is the end of all journeys. Quran 3:84 say, we believe in God and in that which has been bestowed from on high upon us, and that which has been bestowed upon Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and their descendants, and that which their sustainer has vouchsafed unto Moses and Jesus and all the other prophets. We make no distinction between any of them, and unto Him do we surrender ourselves. Quran 3:144. Muhammad is no more than a messenger. Many were the messengers that passed away before him. If he died or was slain, would you turn back on your heels? If any did turn back on his heels, not the least harm would he do to God. But God, on the other hand, will swiftly reward those who serve Him with gratitude.